All right, disclaimer, this is going to be a little bit of a long video. So this looks like a young man, and he says, so I've been seeing this woman for about 6 months now, and for the most part, we have an amazing relationship. She has 3 kids, and I really do adore them all, which is always a bonus, of course. She's damaged. Okay, here we go. As in 8 years of being in an abusive relationship, and that has obviously left some scars. Her and I seem to be butting heads the last month or so. She does this thing where she shuts down and shuts everyone out, including me, every time she can't handle the thoughts going on in her head. Some of them I can totally understand, the more serious ones. But she does this for even typical life drama that happens or because she messed something up. Okay, so what this tells me here is that guys tend to think that her problems are his problems and he has to be the savior. And so what he does is there's a terminology called the white knight where he's like, I'm going to save the princess and I'm going to ride off into sunset with, okay, so I just turned it from a knight to a cowboy, but whatever, you know what I mean? So, and you don't have to do that. You know, you're a young guy, and so you probably don't have this experience. If you've been with a woman who's been in an abusive relationship, first of all, she needs to be seeing therapy, and you cannot be her therapist, and you really have to hold that boundary that you will not be her therapist, and you will not try to solve her problems for her. Now, when a guy thinks that he can save her and he can white knight and try to solve her problems for her, what it does is it's asking her to be in a codependent relationship with him. In other words, I will help you out any way you can so that you will love and accept me. Right? But the problem is that he's given all this emotional energy to her and he doesn't have anything left for himself. And what happens is he ends up going down this hole with her and he loses himself into her problems. And then her problems, instead of just being focused on her and her world, now encompass all of you guys' world and now the kids and everybody else, and her problems get bigger and bigger. And you'll find that the more energy you put into it, it doesn't get better. And so she starts to rely on that. She starts to rely on that. Now, what might be happening here if she's closing down is because she knows what's going on with this. You're trying to solve her problems and she doesn't want to talk about it. And you're probably adding to the problems here. Okay, yesterday she realized she was not getting paid until on her next pay period. And it really bothered her to the point that she was done going to appointments. She messaged me saying, don't even bother coming over. Because I was super concerned, I went over to find out what was happening because she's being very vague. Okay, cool. We do some blah, blah talking. And I said, you know what, I'll come over tomorrow after I'm done with work and we should do something. From getting a chore done or just going to a park or something. Well, I went over there today and it just turned into an argument because I expressed my concern for the things and she retorted by saying, this is just how she does things and I need to listen. See, you're trying to solve her problems. Don't solve her problems. Just listen. You're a smart guy. Most guys are very smart and guys want to solve problems, but you don't need to solve a woman's problems. You need to just sit there and facilitate the talking. So I recommend that you go look up the Socratic questioning process and then go through that. You know, ask great questions until she keeps talking, until it all comes out. And it'll come out and spill out over time. And just keep asking her great questions. You know, you're not the one who needs to fix her problems. You just got to be the facilitator of her fixing her own problems through her talk think. All right. All right, and not take it personal. Okay, so she's saying that you're taking it personal, like I was describing earlier, right? So as I'm reading this, yeah, you're taking it personal. You're trying to be like, oh, she's closing me out. She doesn't like me anymore. She doesn't want me to be around. And this tells me that you've got some fear of abandonment going on here. So I would anticipate, and I'm not a psychiatrist, but I would say you probably need to go find a therapist who works on attachment disorders because it sounds like you got some sort of anxiety ambivalent thing going on. But again, I'm not a counselor. I'm just a life coach, a men's specialty coach. But that's what this sounds like to me. So what happens is she shuts down and then you feel like she's abandoning you. So you're like, I got to fucking fix this. I got to fix this. I got to do something. And you go over there and you try to fix it for her. And you try to open it up and you try to solve her problems. And you think that if she's happy all the time, that she'll love you forever, that you'll be the awesomest guy in the world because you fixed all her problems and you're her savior. White knighting. All right, let's continue. But this is far easier said than done, especially since every time she does this, she's very cold towards me. Yes, she's shutting down because you're not listening and trying to fix her problems. How do I not get affected by that? By not trying to fix her problems. How can I just be okay? Again, it's the anxiety, ambivalent. Have all this space every time something bothers you in life. Am I looking at this all wrong, or should I just understand that she is damaged? Well, she might be damaged, and maybe she is in an abusive relationship, but you're all up her ass all the fucking time. You need to just give her some space and not doing things that a normal person would. Or do I have a bit of a legitimate concern about how she goes about it all? I know I can't be the white knight, although you are. So you are familiar with this terminology. So again, that's what you're doing. Nor do I want to be, but I do feel like some sense that I should be at least someone she can come to when she gets like this, instead of just being another person who she pushes away. Okay, you can't make her come to you. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to make her come to you because you're the one feeling insecure when she gets like this. You got to let her go. You have to let a woman come to you in her own time when she's damn well ready. And you're not doing that. You're all up her ass all the time. Oh, something's wrong. I'll come over tomorrow to make sure something's happening. Right? And you get into an argument because you're not listening to her. She says she needs space. Give her space. Right? So you've been doing this for a while. You've been together for 6 months and you're not giving her the space she needs. You know, you're not her husband. And if you want to be, then you got to let her come to you in her own time. And she comes up with all these things. You have two choices. You have to say, you need to go figure this out, or I can sit here and listen, and I'm not going to offer any kind of advice. I think you should do that next time. Just tell me what's going on. I'm not going to offer any advice. Just let me know. And you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just sit there. Just sit there and let her talk and not get all reactive about what she says. She doesn't like me asking questions when I don't know what it is, what is what, but also doesn't like when I don't ask questions and just assume what's up. So I'm a loss. So you say, would you like me to help you? Would you like me to ask you? You just ask her. She's in the process of getting help, but is this something that I should ride the storm out? Because deep down, she's absolutely an amazing, kind, and thoughtful person. Okay, so when she's not in her closed offness, she's very open and loving. But these moments and triggers are oftentimes too much to handle, and she doesn't fully get that. Is there worth sitting it out and hopes for a future we both knew could very well happen and be full of love and joy, or is this a lost cause that I'm holding on to? Now, again, she has to be present in her own salvation. So she's telling you you're smothering her too much. That's what she's saying. And then she gets mad because you're not asking, because you're not doing the thing. You're going too far this way, or you're going too far that way. You're like, I'm just fine, whatever. I'm just going to stay and not asking. Like, she wants you to be there for her, but she doesn't want you to solve her problems. And when you're coming with that energy, that needy energy, that you got to solve the problems because you feel that anxiety, that's what she's talking about. Don't ask me questions when you're in that state. She needs a grounded, calm, and collected man. Now, with that being said, how much do you want to handle? I think you need to get really clear on how much you want to handle. How much drama do you want in your life? Because this woman is obviously sucking a lot of your time and energy, and you may need a woman who has less drama. But you also have some skills to work on. So there's a reason that you attracted this woman into your life, and I think it's to learn that skill. But, some people are seasonal and some people are lifelong partners, and it's up to you to determine which one she is. And most of the time, I just assume everybody's seasonal until they prove me otherwise. So that's what I got for you, man. I know some harsh advice, but again, let her come to you. Look up Socratic questioning. It's not your problem. And when she freaks out, it's not you, man. It's her. And that's all I got for you. Bye.